everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Kiki Does the Candidates. And this time we're doing the SAFE party. The SAFE. We'll get to the bottom of what this acronym SAFE means. I know it's acronym because it got dot in between the letters. You know what I mean? Hello, everybody.
Hello, Kiki.
That was beautiful. It's like you rehearsed it. Okay, we've got 4 of you here, but we've actually got 5. Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Kiki.
I just want to include Dennis sometimes. We're on one of those low budget things here. That's what happens when you work in the arts. So I wanted to start with this acronym, SAFE. What's the philosophy? What's your principle? What you're standing for?
So the principle is, I think the acronyms for the 4 letters are what we stand for. And we came up with those concepts first. So then we were looking for an acronym or a catchphrase. And we thought about SAFE, and we thought about a few other things. And SAFE felt a little bit too conservative. So
funny you say that. I was going to say that too. I was going to be like, no, they're safe. Boring. I did think that a little bit. So this is why I wanted to ask this question, so that we can get this out to the peoples, that it doesn't just, it doesn't necessarily just mean we're very safe, wear your helmet.
No. And so where we landed with that was, it's more you're in safe hands. We want to come across as an evidence-based policy maker, decision maker. And we want to appeal to people who like that approach, and that's a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
So we're totally independent. We don't have any party affiliations.
If I was to say that ScoMo, who calls themselves ScoMo? But if ScoMo was at the high end of the spectrum, and the Greens was at the low end of the spectrum, so let's say we got Labour in there, and maybe Malcolm Turnbull, a little bit more this end, but not so far as ScoMo, do you think you have a place on this spectrum, or are you really like, we're not on this spectrum?
We're apolitical. So first,
that's a fancy answer, Karen. I like that one.
Good, I'm glad you like that one. But the other thing is, I would say none of those. I think party politics is broken, and I think we are progressive and we're evidence-based, and we're looking to the future.
Let's meet everyone. So Karen, you're heading up the Safe Hands ticket, the progressive ticket, being B political. So I was really interested in where Renkema sounds like something from my country, which got me interested. Where does that come from, Renkema?
It's actually Dutch.
Dutch.
Yes. And my second husband, who passed away in 2014. His name was Renkema.
And so the Lang is you.
The Lang is me,
okay.
And I didn't want to let go of my name. A woman can't hang on to a name, but he wanted the same name, so it was a compromise.
Well done compromising with a Dutchman. Sorry. So Karen, you're leading the ticket, fantastic. You've put together this team. Now, I will say, looking at your team, that you got a fairly... not forgetting Dennis. Hello, Dennis. You have. I love that every time he's just like, say it again. So, looking at your team, you have diversity in gender, and you have probably not so much diversity in age. If I can be so rude as to make assumptions.
I'm only 25.
And looking fantastic for it, Madeline. Had a rough night. Would you introduce them for me, please, Karen, and they can tell us a little bit about themselves, a couple of lines.
Certainly. So second on our ticket is Sarah Marley.
I have to say, though, you have great taste in lipstick.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought you'd like that. Yeah.
Did you do that just for me?
I did.
Registered nurse, love it.
You name it, I've done it.
Third on the ticket is Dan Balding.
Yes.
Hi, Dan.
Hello, Kiki. Yes, I've lived in Kiama a long time as well. Not all my life, but all but 3 months of it.
And all but 3 months.
Yeah.
Where else were you?
As a baby. Moved here when I was 3 months old.
And next on the ticket is Madeleine Scarf.
Hello, Madeleine.
Hello, Kiki. How are you? I've been in Kiama for 6 years, and I'm an architect. I joined the ticket because I didn't really like what was going on at the moment with the council we have at the moment, and I thought, well, best thing to do is to actually get in there and see if you can change it from the inside.
And last but not least,
Dennis Balding.
Hello, Kiki.
hello, Dennis.
I've been a rate-paying resident of Kiama for over 40 years now. I love Kiama. I'm a little bit like Madeline. I hate the the way our council has been going, and I'd like to see some change.
Oh, that's quite a good team, Karen. So, did you have like special requirements that you wanted from these peeps, or you chose them for their good looks? You know, what was the story?
Obviously.
Well, yes, they're good looks and charm and powers of persuasion. Also, friends. Some of us play trivia together, but also.
So you're all smart then, or do you lose
Well, we have
trivia
all the
together?
answers. We have all the answers, okay. But I was more concerned about what's going on more broadly in Australia and you know, with climate change and with globalisation, and thought, well, you know, at my age I don't want a career in politics, but perhaps what I can do is make change from the ground up.
So how on earth do you think most people are going to get themselves up to a standard of understanding how to make a council run?
From what I understand, once you get in, there is some training that's provided.
Okay.
And there is a handbook of about 100 pages, which is, you know, the councillor's handbook. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I'm back.
It's just looking at the calibre of people in government in general. It just thinks, oh, that's encouraging.
Yeah.
How did he get in?
How do you feel about being a woman in this environment?
Like any woman, I can be whatever you want me to be, baby. So,
Wow, you just got a few more votes.
how am I going to do it as a woman, given the predicament of our culture? Now, I had a career in IT, and that's a very blokey environment. So I went through my uni when I was 30, and I think there were two women on the course. I work with blokes, and what I've found in my experience is it takes longer. Once I got their confidence and they thought I was competent and they saw me in action, and I work well with men, I got their confidence, they were with me and I had the respect.
Yeah.
But what I've found as I've gotten older is that there's a bit of ageism creeps in as well. And I think you become a bit invisible.
And what do you think is behind this then? Is it because we still put so much to the appearance of a woman in our culture? Is that part of the issue, or what do you think? It's not just about women though, is it? This is everybody. This is a human. It's a cultural thing. It's a social thing, right? It's not up to us women to go, we need to rise. It's up to men to go, come up. It's not up to us to go, men, you must get down. It's up to us to go, men, let's do it together, you know? There's not, and I think it's the same with age. So what do you think about that?
Well, in that context, can I just say that as far as I understand, we all bemoan the fact that there's only one woman on council at the moment. Apparently, no women ran.
Yes,
last
they,
time. So
exactly.
I mean, that is definitely an issue. We can't complain that nobody was elected.
When there was no
There
one
were
to choose
no women
from.
who were running last election.
Yeah.
So that's part of the problem. We're not just trying to convince men, as you say. We're trying to convince society as a whole.
We're putting quite a few social media posts out about vote with intention. Think about who you're voting for. Look at the past performance of them. Know the person and what they've done in the history before you vote. So we are trying to get that message out via as many avenues as we can.
I think for us as humans, it's the connection to a human as well. You know, we want to know, who is this person? What would happen if I sat down and had some breakfast with them? You know, and on that, Sarah, since you're second on the ticket, you know, how I mean, you could very easily get across the line.
I think that sort of straight cutting through the bullshit. What does this mean? How's it going to impact on everybody in a fair sort of way?
Calling it out.
Calling it out. I don't get sidetracked by all the fluff and nonsense. You know, like, yeah, righto, that's all you're pretty, but you know, what's really going on here?
Kiki, can I say something about the gender politics?
Yes, please do.
Yeah, because I do have quite strong views about this, and I won't play identity politics of any sort. I think it's about the behaviour, and we're all human beings, and we're all capable of good and pretty awful behaviour. So the other thing I would say, and this is my edict for life, if you like, is that the world doesn't need conquering anymore. It needs nurturing. And I think we need people in positions of power that aren't full of testosterone and aren't going to make, a battle out of it. Yeah. These men are here with us because they are men like that. They are men who have that soft side of them, and we have that bit of testosterone sometimes as well, but I don't think that's how we should run. Our leaders should not be full of that. That's what I think's wrong with the world.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. And it comes to the polarity issue. You know, we need to have polarity, but at the same time, it needs to be inside of each of us,
Yes.
not just one versus the other. You know,
Exactly.
and it's okay for women to have a masculine side and men to have a feminine
Absolutely.
side. And in fact, I've heard it referred to as not masculine, feminine, but heart and soul. Sorry, head and heart.
Head and
To have a head side and a heart side. And I think this is the secret to a society that might live on.
I think also that we come from a caring perspective, so that we don't have any hidden agendas, politically or otherwise, really.
Yes.
So that we care about this town. We care what's going to be in train for many years to come.
Yes,
What we're going to leave behind us.
yes.
So we honestly do care, I think. And for me, that's my background. I'm a carer.
Yeah.
You know, I look after people, and I'm looking after this town.
So we talked about what you are as a party, but if your party had a superpower, what might it be? What letter would be on your cape?
What letter?
I think caring. I think caring's a good one.
Oh, you like that one?
Okay.
Big C.
A K for caring. But that's the Kiki type of caring, so that's good. K for caring.
K for Kiama.
K for Kiama caring.
Okay.
Hang on, careful.
Yeah, don't put too many Ks.
Personally, where I'd put into that conversation is, I think it's resilience. I really think we need resilience into the future. And I don't think it matters that we are one of the richest LGAs in Australia, which is the richest country in the world. Resilience is just, it's on the decline. And I think you get that resilience through cooperation and through societies pulling together.
Yes.
So that would be my superpower. I would love to be able to pull that together and to cut through this party politics and undermining and putting the other person down to get ahead yourself.
And okay, so I have another question for you. So Neil Riley, he can interpretive dance. So I was just wondering. I know.
Who says that?
I've seen him. I saw it in the interview. He did it. So I was just wondering, on a scale of 1 to 10, could you beat him at that? Dan, I think this might be your one. Got any chance of beating Neil Riley? He did it just sitting down. So if you want to put
Here's
in
a secret I bet you don't know.
what?
Karen here can read Morse code.
No way.
From her first career, before IT, she was in the Navy.
That's great deflection. What about your utopian Kiama?
Getting back to what Karen was saying about resilience, I think we need to be more self-contained, more self-reliant, and less reliant on this, constant stream of money coming in from tourism. And obviously, tourism is going to be a big thing.
Yes.
Because it's, we're very lucky to live in such a beautiful place.
Yes,
and
it
people
always
wanna
will be. Yes.
experience it, which is fine. But I'd like to see us less dependent on this short-term flow of external money and with a much broader economic base and much more interesting things happening. I
Yeah.
think because we're one of the wealthiest, best educated LGAs in Australia, we actually have a fantastic opportunity to be actually in the vanguard and showing other people how we can do it and actually taking advantage of our skills base and
Yes,
our knowledge base to
expertise
actually
there.
diversify and introduce a lot more new ideas about what could be happening in here
Yeah.
instead of being a retirement village and a tourism hotspot.
I love this teacher.
oh, goodness,
I
look at
wore
that.
it to my granddaughter's party, and I don't think her friends knew what to do with me.
I love it. Oh! Do it again, do it again.
That the people have the power to redeem the work of fools upon the meek. The graces shower, it increase. The people rule. People have the power. People have the power.
Oh, yay!
Vote one.
And I think on that note, I have to say, my friends, that was the safe team being delightfully unsafe. My friends, thank you so much for joining us. Madeline, Dan, Karen, Sarah, and
Dennis.
Dennis!
Thank you, Kiki.
Thank you very much for joining me for Kiki Does the Candidates, the safe team. Anything but.